Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to go over our daily technical analysis update for oil, natural gas. I won't get into solar right now. I still got to set up all those charts, but we'll go over those two. I've got it all set up here. We're going to start with West Texas oil. So we'll jump in here. Again, this is just my financial opinion. Looking at the big picture view, from '08, the last commodity bull market coming in here. We get this large pattern here. It's basically a channel, and we're breaking the channel to the upside here just recently. We can zoom on in up here. You can see how this thing is stair-stepping up, and we're coming back to do a retest right here. You can see it right here. The last day it was a large down day. We're coming and doing a return move to the upper breakout. Zooming on in, you can see how this thing's reacting. It's coming on down. We had some good strong selling pressure. We're right at the back test right there. And that's where we're finding support. That's what it looks like right there. Let's keep zooming in. You can see this thing come up. There's our support. We launched off support, and then we got sold off again. And we have more support here, so it's holding on. Holding on at $75, $76. That's about where I thought it would come back to. So we'll see what happens here. We got to hold on, and we got to launch from this launching pad. Now, obviously, this move, we've had some pretty strong sell-offs. There we go. Log here. So here's SM Energy. Get this out of here. Here's log. We've had this huge sell-off. We've had this huge return move up. Let's zoom on in here. You can see as this thing goes, we got some pauses. Here's a pause there coming up. Yeah, we came down a little bit here recently. Obviously a good strong sell-off through here, gap down. We are at some support through here. So we're at support. And would I be a buyer right here? It's up to you. This momentum is still coming down. I'd like to see it reverse. You may not get the best pricing if you just jump in there and try to go for it. But we do have some good volume buying it this past day here, but I'd probably just hold on. Here's Centennial Development Resources. Looking at it from this kind of long-term view, it kind of came down here. Sold off, coming back up. Let's zoom in. Zoom in. You can see some guys that came up and were about to break, and then yesterday it shot lower. This was a good basing pattern. It was squaring up to move on up, and it got gapped lower by news. I think that was news about shutdowns in Europe or something like that. So that's Centennial Development Resource. Going to CPE. Again, massive sell-off. Zoom in, zoom in. It's creating this large pattern. It broke to the upside, and past couple days it's kind of broken down. Is that a false breakout, or is this a false breakdown? See lots of selling through here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm holding on to my shares on all my companies. I think structurally we are going to have problems in oil. If we do have shutdowns, I think it's going to cause even larger problems in the oil market on a different time frame. So there's CPE. Now here's Recaf. Recaf, you can see this guy. It's stepping up with these patterns. Zooming on in, we have a descending wedge. We broke to the upside. We have another descending wedge that we just broke recently. There's your wedge. We're coming on up. We popped a little bit higher. Some good volume on the pop too. Zoom on in. And there's your pop. Oof. Now we just got to keep the momentum going. Looks like it's putting in another pattern. Something like that. Another flag pattern to break. Let's go to NOG. I probably was doing this early with no loggage. Wasn't on log. So, Northern Oil and Gas, looking at a big picture, zooming on in. We've got like this maybe resistance line coming through there. We're probably going to do a retest of this line. Let me back out. Let's put it there. Is that all? Zooming on in. Probably could come back and do a retest right here, about 1817, if it gets that low. And then I think we'll move on up. Kind of zooming on in, you can see this gap down in the beginning of the day, and then looks like buyers came in and tried buying this thing up. So that looks okay. CPG, got a shoulder, head, shoulder developing, reverse head and shoulders. Here's the neckline coming through. Here's some support. We're came in right on the descending wedge. We blew out to the downside on this gap lower yesterday. We'll see if this reverses and goes up because it's basically news. Structurally, it didn't drive it down. It was a news that kind of brought this thing lower. So we'll see what happens. And here's GTE coming through. Let's come on. We got this downtrend line. We got a pause here. We broke that to the upside, so everything looks pretty good. And then we're pulling on back here. We could do a return move back to the breakout before moving on up. So everything looks okay. Everything's still intact. Here's Tellurian. Big picture view. Big resistance up there. We're coming on up. 1 year, we're still above. Yeah, we sold off yesterday, but we're still above the line. There's your line right there. So we're still doing okay. And we've got, basically, we're trying to break through kind of this right there. CRK. I don't know if I've done this one. We got this pattern there. We had, looks like the break of this thing out there. Broke down, retest, then the drop, precipitous drop. Zooming on in, we're probably doing a retest. We broke out, do a retest, and then we take off. So I think we're just doing a return move at the moment. Drawing this stuff in here. Broke to the downside. Maybe we'll come down here and do a retest. Sandridge. It's a big old pattern. Kind of have like a broken downtrend line there. Coming on up. Let's zoom in. You can see these little patterns there. Zoom in. Looking at it here, could be almost like a double top and reversal. Maybe. Just looking at these things. I mean, this was news this past day here. So it looked like it was mounting some, buying pressure. Sold off here recently. So I don't know if I'd be doing anything with it, guys. I'd kind of just be sitting there waiting. So that's oil and natural gas. I'll get solar some other time here. I'll set it up. But yeah, I wouldn't be diving in yet. It doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look great. That's what it looks like to me. Again, I ride these things for the overall big picture view. I just use the technical analysis to time my entry points and to accumulate. I do think that we have deficits in the oil market. They're going to manifest themselves next year. Even if we have shutdowns, it's just going to delay it a little bit into the future. So it might push it a little bit out there. We'll see what happens. We'll continue to monitor it, and maybe we have some better buying points coming up here in the future. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.